So Jonathan, all eyes now on you because you're going to tell us viewers what happened exactly. You were doing the countdown the last time we spoke as well. You said, you know, this is nail-biting, the countdown. We're here now. The results are out. UK's first Asian origin Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Over to you, Gilbert. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Jonathan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So, Jonathan, I'm just going to do this again. We just lost you there, your audio. We were talking earlier about on the broadcast as well as to how, the countdown has truly begun. And, you called this. You really called this, saying that he's way ahead of the game. But, did we not expect Penny throwing in the towel so soon?
It's very difficult to say. I mean, look, I think, politicians, they talk a good game, don't they? It still remains to be seen if Boris Johnson genuinely got the 100 votes that he claimed. I think probably what Penny Mordaunt did was take it up to the wire. I think when we learn about the true history of this contest, we may discover that she fell slightly short and therefore had to throw in the towel at 2 p.m. And that was the ticking clock. That was the deadline. My suspicion and my instinct is that that's what happened. She probably got maybe 80, 90 supporters, but it wasn't enough to get her over the line. So she already had a well expressed, a well coded resignation statement to go, and she hit send at 1:59. And that's the way it went. But the reality is, Rishi Sunak is now our de facto Prime Minister. And that is absolutely extraordinary. I'm still trying to digest this. I'm still really trying to take this on board for a number of reasons. But,
when you say that, you're still trying to digest this for a number of reasons, I'm sure that the viewers are also trying to digest this for a number of reasons. If you could elaborate those reasons for our viewers as well. Also because, you had that Boris Johnson tenure, then you had Liz Truss, did not work out, too much financial uncertainty. And then obviously the darling of the stock markets happened to be Rishi Sunak as well. And you had Penny in the fray as well, who decided to drop out. So there's just been too much back and forth as far as leadership is concerned. There was a sure leadership vacuum as far as United Kingdom is concerned. Do you think that now with Rishi Sunak, all of that is sorted going forward?
No, I mean, so I'll answer that question in two parts.
Please go
I'll answer the second part first. I think the governmental chaos is probably over now because the Tory party was essentially in a mode of self-destruction. And, we now have a very sober-minded, very intelligent, very economically literate candidate in charge. Now, he'll probably be in charge for the next couple of years, barring any escapades. But he still faces a massive mountain to climb in terms of persuading the electorate that the Conservative Party needs another term in office. Now, the second part, and I really hesitate to say this because it brings me absolutely no credit to do so. But I grew up, I'm in my 50s now, and I grew up in a Britain which was racially divided, and a lot of people of Indian origin were subject to a lot of racial abuse. And, now we are in a position where the most conservative and the most right-wing party of office in the country has elected a person of Indian origin as their leader. And I think that is an absolutely extraordinary moment and an incredible Rubicon that has been crossed here. And I think it's amazing, it's incredible. I thoroughly applaud it. And it's an amazing moment for this country. And very few people are willing to talk about this because it's really such a politically fraught topic of conversation, but it's true. We have an Asian origin Prime Minister, and this has never happened before. And good on him.
Good on him, absolutely good on him. Now, just to get a little bit of perspective into what lies ahead, what are the challenges that lie ahead, Gilbert, as far as Rishi Sunak is concerned, because he's obviously entering at a point of time where there is a lot of financial uncertainty, and that's why Liz Truss, ended up throwing her hat in the ring.
Absolutely. Well, there are huge economic challenges. Look, they come from various directions. I think a lot of this, this unacknowledged financial uncertainty and economic chaos has unfortunately come from Ukraine and Vladimir Putin's attempts to switch the lights off in Europe, which he's halfway towards doing. So Sunak is a very clever and very, very competent politician and economist. His first step, obviously, will be to try and bring down the level of inflation. He's going to do this using various mechanisms. He can possibly raise interest rates, although that's deeply unpopular. He can reduce public spending. That's deeply unpopular as well. But there's not much else, frankly, in his tool shed at the moment. When he's done that, he'll try and get a grip on the economy, and by that stage, it'll be time for a general election. So, look, he has one of the most frightening and painful inboxes for any incoming PM in modern history. But if anyone knows how to do that, it's him.
I also want to understand, Jonathan, from you, that Penny Mordaunt pulled out of the contest. Why? Why is it that she decided to do that? Because, then you had Rishi Sunak de facto as the Prime Minister. The moment she did that, if you could explain where it really come from, where did that decision come from?
Okay, again, we'll have to wait and see once we've dug this out for sure. But obviously I have two theories. Number one is that she didn't get over the line, quite simply. She needed 100 MPs behind her. There were all sorts of briefings going on. She had 70, she had 80, she had 90. This may have just been malicious briefing. The reality of the matter is she may just not have got 100 MPs behind her, at which point she had to, tender a tearful resignation letter. The other theory is quite conceivably, even had she received 100, she may have said to herself, well, look, this is a mandate, but it's not a real mandate, is it? I could go to this tiny sliver of the population, the Tory party membership, and they might vote me in because they voted against Rishi last time, but it would be a Pyrrhic victory, it would be a false victory, and again, they may have made her PM and she might have crashed and burned just like Liz Truss. So it's somewhere between those two concepts, I imagine. Either way, I think she probably did the right thing.
What is the sentiment that you're picking up from the people in Britain to have Rishi Sunak as their Prime Minister? Because obviously, like we were discussing as well, he's a de facto Prime Minister nonetheless.
Well, he essentially is now Prime Minister, failing a overnight nuclear strike. Liz Truss will tender her resignation to the King, King Charles III, as he is now known. And then Penny Mordaunt will go to Buckingham Palace tomorrow and ask the King to, sorry, I beg your pardon, Rishi Sunak will go to Buckingham Palace tomorrow and ask the King to form a government. And that is that. So, the technicalities are essentially just mechanical now. He is now our Prime Minister to all intents and purposes.
Right, absolutely. So obviously what's going to happen tomorrow is that he's going to be going and meeting the King tomorrow, King Charles tomorrow. Is that what you're saying is going to happen? And what is the process really like?
Yeah, it's really, it's formal and traditional and a little bit tedious, although obviously we've seen it more often in the last year than probably in the previous 10 or 20 years. Liz Truss goes to see the King because she's still, believe it or not, the acting Prime Minister.